chew bubblegum.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
Greetings.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Yay.
A lot of bubblegum.
Yay. What about you, Rebecca? Salutations.
I'm always kicking ass and taking names.
Okay.
And then I'm giving those names to the next people.
Well, you're going to have to come up with a little opening like salutations or hello, flockers.
Welcome to the shit show, flockers.
There
How
you
about
go.
that?
There you go. See, that works. That works. For reasons that we can't reveal, we are recording today's episode directly after we recorded episode 43, correct? Letting you in on a little side information.
I was going to say they'd have never known if you hadn't said anything.
Well, we have to be honest with our audience. Have to be honest.
Aside from no listener emails today.
Yes. We don't have any listener emails. I just had a thought. I'm going to have to go back and pull some of the emails that we've passed on and not read on the air. I will have to do that, and we will have to do like a special episode.
I agree, because I would love to know what some of those emails are.
Dude, some of them are totally out there, and there's this one lady who has, she listened to us up until we did our year in review early in January, and she quit listening because and I've said this before, I don't know if I've said it on the show before, she quit listening because we did not mention George Floyd incident on the year in review. But we were just mentioning like the Australian wildfires and, like Here to Chew Bubblegum stuff. We wouldn't do in real world, year in review. And she has sent maybe 4 more since that, and she's always bashing us, but she seems to be up on what we're doing on the show. So
should we live in her head rent free then, is what you're saying?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to be in on whatever episode that is. I got a lot of shit to say about those people.
But yeah, we will definitely do that before the end of the year. I'll have to go back and pull some of those, and we'll. Now some of them.
If we're going to talk about that, all this bullshit started because of that gorilla.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to have to start forwarding you some of the ones that we don't pick and read.
You really just got to forward them all to me.
Yeah, well, no, there's...
Forward them to me, actually. Can I handle that?
Oh, yeah, I can forward those to you. Now,
We'll do the shit show get real segment, real shit show style.
No,
oh boy.
No, I'll just be honest and I'll be upfront, and we love and appreciate all of our listeners, but some that have written in are batshit crazy. So I'm just being blunt,
I mean, we can say that about any of ourselves though, about some things.
No, you cannot say that until you read some of these emails.
Well, then let me read them.
Well, I will definitely forward those to you. I will forward those to you.
Good. I'll be looking for some good throne reading material.
I don't think it matches the hate that I get on TikTok.
Well, I mean,
that is true.
No, yeah, we've had some hate, but I don't really address it, So I'm not going to waste my energy on these people. But
I transmute the energy and I use it to find the flack, and then my famous saying is "Thanks for playing." So it's very fun. I love the trolls.
There you go.
Very comfortably on the bridge.
See, I always used to say "smile and wave, smile and wave."
Mm-hmm. Kill them with kindness. I just return their negativity. It's theirs. It's not mine.
Oh, that's and that's totally the best way to do it. I mean, it really is.
A box with a bow on it that she just puts it in and wraps it up and sends it right back to me.
I do. I make it pretty.
Oh, but episode 42 still going strong. A lot of downloads.
Prestige worldwide.
I will tell you guys right now. Let me see. Let me make this where you can read it. And don't say this number on the air, but that's what it was about an hour ago.
Well, you got to move it over so that we can see it.
Can you see it?
Wow.
So,
holy shit.
So, that's that is one of our
just
most
little old here to chew bubble gum.
Yes, it is. So, and like you said the last episode, we are the first people that have got an interview with anybody that's representing Ingersoll Lockwood. So, and we've got some big things coming. Hopefully, in the next 4 weeks, we'll be able to make a big announcement on another platform that we'll be joining, that you'll be able to hear the show on. Things are looking really good as of now for that to happen. So, and there may even be some new radio stations coming on board as well.
Hey.
So,
well, look at that. Would you just look at that?
Yeah.
Look like that.
See, that's what I was getting ready to say. Just look at that. Would you just look at that?
Ed Bassmaster, an outstanding individual.
Yeah. Rent fucking free in my head.
There you go. No, we definitely are next year. We're going to have to head up some festivals, some Comic Cons, film festivals, stuff to that nature.
Well, yeah. Oh, hey, Goose.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm thinking of it. I wanted to show you last one, but I refrained. A flocker sent me kangaroo nuts. Taxidermied kangaroo nuts.
That is cool.
Straight from Australia.
That is cool. How do they smell?
Like roses.
Oh, okay. Genuine Australian souvenir. There you go. Made in Australia. That is pretty cool. You need some truck nuts.
No.
Why? Rebecca, you need some truck nuts.
My truck's got enough nuts for everybody.
No, it's just because the driver is.
I'm not nuts.
Oh, that's just cold, man. That's cold. So, have you guys watched? Have you guys started watching any new series or any new movies or anything lately?
Despicable Me.
I'm just trying to catch up on the inside of my eyelids. That's a real good show.
Yes, it is. This past week, I've been killed. I mean,
yeah,
it's that Schumann resonance.
Bad. Well, like Friday night, I fell asleep, not on purpose. I mean, it was before 8:30, and I woke up at 10 and stayed up for about 20 minutes, and then I lay back down and slept till about 10 o'clock yesterday. But then I got up and went to the gym, so I was pumped, so ready to go. Got
to be able to lift that cookie dough.
That's exactly right. But what was that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No. Come on.
She said no comment. I want to hear the comment.
Yes.
No comment.
Yes. Come on. I want to hear that.
It was about lifting the cookie dough comment.
Yeah. Come on.
No comment was my comment.
Everybody likes cookies.
You can't plead the fifth.
Everybody likes cookies.
I'm saying no comment.
That's pleading the fifth.
Maybe someday. No, I'm not going to do that. I was going to be like, maybe someday I'll say what I really do, but I don't think I'm going to do that at this point in time.
I think the Cookie Factory is just fine.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'd rather pound the cookie dough. One of my slackers said.
Pound the cookie dough. I am. Yes, I pound the shit out of that cookie dough.
Oh my god.
But
next week on Here to Chew Bubblegum, Salt Bay will be featured to drizzle his little salt flakes down his arm for us.
If you guys not watched it, there's a movie on Amazon Prime called The Tomorrow War. It's actually pretty good. I
heard it's terrible.
I actually liked it.
Where'd you hear it's terrible at? Rotten Tomatoes?
No, my flock.
I mean, I actually liked it. I mean, if you're a Chris Pratt fan, it was actually a Chris Pratt fan. It was actually an entertaining movie. I liked it. So
I only like Chris Pratt when he plays Burt Macklin, FBI agent.
Oh, okay, got you. And he's what was the name of the band? Mousetrap.
Yeah, no, Mouse Rat.
Rat.
Yeah, that's it. Fell in the pit.
Yes.
You can actually find that song. I used to have it on my MP3 player years ago when I had an MP3 player.
MP3 player.
So,
oh, man.
Wow. Did you download it off of Napster, man?
No. LimeWire.
Nope. It was not. I think years ago, I used to have this website where I could, there's all kinds of them now, but I could go on and download YouTube videos as videos or audio files. And, this has been like 11 years ago, back when I was into filmmaking and all that stuff. And
you had your small role in the film?
Which film would that may be?
That's only for select people to know about. Whoops.
Yeah. I was in several films.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
So.
Adult and not adult rated.
No. They were never adult rated films. Plus, I also did stand up comedy. So.
Yeah, but you'd have to be able to stand up to do that comedy.
Oh. So now you're making fun of short people, right? Yeah. That's okay. But all of our listeners can always call, text, or leave a voicemail by calling 606-373-3396, or
they can email us at goose@heretotchewbubblegum.com, Dirty Dan at heretotchewbubblegum.com, or Rebecca at heretotchewbubblegum.com, or you can email Ned, Pup, or Elliot at heretotchewbubblegum@yahoo.com.
Correct. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into segment 1. Now, do you want to go, or do you want me to go, or I think you said you were going to let Rebecca go, or
yes, Rebecca was going to go for this part.
Okay, well we will let her
Rebecca
go first.
Is going where? What are we going?
You are going to talk about. What are you going to be talking about?
I don't know. You guys got to tell me what I'm talking about.
We did tell you. We told you last, and I sent you a text message to find your stuff over an hour ago.
She's busy, man. She's busy. She has a whole flock to attend to.
I was with her the entire time. She was not.
I do not believe that.
I wasn't busy with the tiny psycho?
She stays busy.
You were chilling on the couch the last half hour.
Oh, okay.
There's the tiny psycho.
I was uploading episode 43.
I believe you were supposed to pull some of your research for.
Oh, for Stargate portals and wormholes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
So the Iraq War.
Oh, there we go.
So do you know what the ley lines are?
Yes.
So it's
explain it for the flockers and the listeners.
The flock knows what the ley lines are, but the ley lines are like the energy spots over the world. And if you look at the ley line map, which I have several of them posted in the telegrams, but the ley line map lines up perfectly with the energy grids, and it also lines up with where the Stargate portals are, or where we think they are. And if you're following along with the Great Awakening map, it also has the Stargate portals directly next to the Iraq War, which I know that we've mentioned before on the show.
Yeah, we have, and there's a lot of people. And Dirty Dan is moving his mic around as me and Rebecca are trying to do a show. Thank you very much, Dirty Dan. Yes, I called you out on that.
I'm getting comfy to listen to you guys and your plethora of information you're about to spout out.
Now, there is a lot of people that have claimed that the war with Iraq was basically to gain control of a Stargate portal. What has your research led you to believe on that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. The only reason that we go to war is to further the loosh, keep more control, and to gain resources that we think we need from other countries because we don't want to use our own.
Now, if that was true, and I know why. I was going to ask you to see what your opinion was. Why do you think that Saddam Hussein never used it that we know of? Do you think it's because he didn't know how to use it, or?
Yeah, I think it's because he didn't know how to use it. I don't really think that anybody of that status knows exactly what they're doing with it. They just know that it's important, and they're trying to obtain control over it. That's why I think that the Bermuda Triangle is so loosely talked about with conspiracy theories, is because I believe that the Bermuda Triangle is a giant fucking portal to the hyperdimensional hexon on Saturn. I truly believe that.
Now, and I'm fascinated by portals, other dimensions, and I think it may have been recently that CERN, some people that know about CERN are claiming that they have manufactured exotic matter, which, Albert Einstein said could be used in portals or time travel or something to that effect.
CERN definitely plays a big part in this, which is why it's also on the map in close vicinity to Stargate portals and the Iraq War. Yes, Christopher, or Dirty Dan, you have your hand.
Yeah, dude, you have a mic in front of you. Why the hell are you raising your hand?
I was waiting my turn.
Okay.
So I've been through the Bermuda Triangle and had a very weird event happen.
What?
We were on a cruise.
Okay.
Going to Bermuda. And this is on a Carnival Cruise Line ship that is no longer around. And out of nowhere, a freak hurricane came through. And it got so bad, the ship listed almost 30 degrees to its starboard side. Everything spilled out into the ocean. Oh, excuse me. Oh.
Maybe we should try talking in between the hiccups.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, go ahead and play with your microphone some more there without turning.
Karma's a bitch.
Everything spilled off the top deck into the ocean. This happened as we had gotten up there to go to breakfast. And they put the stabilizers out and obviously didn't really do much. And then all of a sudden, bam, calm ocean.
You were just you were out of the storm just like that?
Yeah. As soon as it hit, we were out of it just as quick.
How did you feel like when you were, did you, number one, know you were in the Bermuda Triangle when this was going on?
No, not at first, no.
Okay. How did you feel inside? Did you feel like something was up? Did you have a gut feeling about something not being right?
I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
And I remember it was my mom, dad, my sister, and I, and my Oma and Opa. And my Opa had said, and he was in a wheelchair, he said that something didn't feel right when we got off the elevator. And a minute later, bam, all chaos broke loose.
So he picked up on it.
Yeah.
Prior, was he the only one in the group that did pick up on it?
He was the only one that said anything.
That is, wow.
I can't get over the hiccups.
I have been on cruises before. I don't think I've been through the Bermuda Triangle. I have done a lot of research on the Bermuda Triangle in the past.
What have you found about eels in the Bermuda Triangle?
Well,
I didn't see
it is funny that you say that, because the only animal in captivity or in the wild that mankind have never seen reproducing is eels. And they seem to, when they get old, they swim from freshwater to saltwater to the Bermuda Triangle, and then it's like, bam, a new eel takes its place, or it rejuvenates itself. And, if you're listening to the podcast and you've never heard that, research how eels reproduce, and you won't be able to find it. Yeah, you will not be able to find it.
Thank you for reminding me. One of my flackers, because we are live right now. One of my flackers just said the electricity. So eels have their own almost like their own electric current flowing through them, which then maybe ties into the portal's electricity, because water is current. right? And electricity flows through water, and
Yes.
water has memory.
I've never thought about that. But yeah, Dirty Dan, I mean, you can take and you can dissect an eel and you will find no reproductive organs, no,
I mean, I've eaten eels.
well,
That's disgusting.
I've never eaten an eel, but yeah, nobody knows how they reproduce.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Now I'm curious.
Yes. Well, I mean, you'll have to do some goosing on that subject.
Maybe you should do your research, Dirty Dan.
Yeah, you'll have to do some goosing on that subject. So,
Hey, Rebecca, maybe you should actually tell people what you're going to talk about instead of just, wait until after and then try and call us out.
she's
So
doing
do our
great,
research.
buddy. She ain't trying
You
to call
texted
nobody
me
out.
fucking 10 minutes before we were going to do this podcast. What I was
No. Let's look at the timestamp here, shall we?
Oh, dude, no, we're not going to get into that. She is great. We're sorry that you don't know about eels.
1:31 p.m.
He's just pissed because he don't know.
1:31 p.m. I'm not pissed. I'm going to research it. But at 1:31 p.m., it is 3:13. 1:31 p.m.
Well, when you do research it, you will find out exactly what me and her said. And like I said, you can dissect them, and there is no reproductive organs, no, nothing whatsoever.
If the eel's electricity ties into the water and the scars on Earth, creating the Grand Canyon. Sorry, just connecting everything together.
That's a cool thought. That's a very cool thought.
That just makes me want to play with my microphone some more.
I'm going to read just a little bit about portals. There are a number of areas across the world known to be energetic hotspots, from the ancient megaliths to ley lines. These areas are often alleged to produce hyperdimensional gateways. While we don't exactly know how to open a portal to another dimension, there is evidence that they could exist. Legend has it that Spanish conquistadors came to Peru to loot the Incas' gold. A priest named, and I'll probably butcher these names, Maru used Haku Marica as a portal to escape.
Can we get those names one more time?
No, we cannot. Maru allegedly placed a golden disc known as the key of the gods, as the key to the gods of the seven rays, into a socket in the center of Haku Marica's carved door, opening a portal and allowing him to walk through the stone, and he was never seen again. Had you guys ever heard that before?
No.
Yeah, and you can research that, and it did happen long ago, but that is what you find out. More scientific,
just a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, just one or two. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I was just, I have to step away for a brief moment. But what I was going to say, though, is on the portal things, I also want to talk about the random staircases in woods and how you should never climb them.
Okay.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, definitely. Well, she stepped away. I'll talk about more scientific evidence.
Lay it on us.
If you talk to the most string theorists, they'll tell you that it's likely we live in a multi-dimensional universe. In fact, many string theorists believe that beyond our three-dimension reality, 4 if you include time, there may actually be 10 or 11 different dimensions, all potentially with their own unique law of physics and chemistry. And though there are some similarities between the two worlds as far as the laws govern them, electromagnetic energy and gravity, there are vast differences. Similarly, I cannot say that word. Anyway, there can be multiple dimensions beyond our own, of which we can only observe certain signs, quantum signs, that don't seem to fall into a unified theory of explanation based on the dimensions we're capable of observing. In 2012, NASA came out with a report that said a good portal is a shortcut guide, a door into the unknown, if only they could exist. Turns out they do exist. A NASA-funded researcher at the University of Iowa has figured out how to find them. We call them X-points, or electron diffusion regions, explains plasma physicist Jack Scudder of the University of Iowa. They're places where the magnetic field of Earth connects to the magnetic field of the sun, creating an uninterrupted path leading from our planet to the sun's atmosphere 93 million miles away. There's just one problem finding them. Magnetic portals are invisible, unstable, and exclusive. They open and close without warning. There are no signposts to guide us in, notes Scudder. Actually, there are signposts, and Scudder has found them. Portals form via the process of magnetic reconnection, mingling lines of magnetic force from the sun and earth crisscross and join to create the openings or X points. To learn how to pinpoint these events, Scudder looked at the data from a space probe that orbited Earth for more than 10 years. In the late 90s, NASA polar spacecraft spent years in Earth's magnetic sphere, explained Scudder, and it encountered many X points during the mission. This means that single members of the MSS constellation using the diagnostics can find a portal and alert other members of the constellation. So, you know, NASA did say that portals do exist, and Jack Scudder knows how to find them.
That's interesting.
I was going to save this for segment 3, but maybe we'll just go ahead and talk about it now since we're on the portals, and we can always talk about something. We can always have an open discussion. And I think I've asked you this. I think I've asked both of you guys this when you were in the bunker there a few weeks ago. If you could go through a portal or a wormhole or a Stargate, and you knew that you would be physically, mentally okay, would you do it?
You didn't ask us that, but we asked something similar, and that was about if aliens came and invited us on their UFO, would you go?
Okay.
I have a question before I answer that.
Okay.
Are these portals able to be found, these X lines or X members, are they on the physical Earth or are they in the sky?
They're in the physical Earth.
So I could find it if I had the general vicinity and I took out my handy dandy Boy Scout compass and I was walking around and it started spinning around, I'd be able to find it.
What? Yeah. You know, in this scenario, yes, you would be able to find it.
Hell yeah, I'm going.
Okay. What if you couldn't come back? Would you still go?
Well, would I know that before I went through it?
Yeah.
I guess that'd be depending on who was coming with me.
Oh, there you go. You know, if I knew I could come back, I would definitely go through, and I would be taking a ton of pictures and videos, and, you know, I would just be...
But what if the magnetic frequencies wiped it all out?
But what if they didn't?
But what if they did?
That would be something that I would try. Would you, Rebecca, if you could go through a portal, would you do that? If you could come back?
If I could come back, abso-fucking-lutely.
I would too. I just think that that's neat. I don't want it to sound crazy. I don't want people to think he's crazy, but I think it's very possible that these can and do exist.
I just realized I was muted. Did you not hear my answer?
No, you muted yourself after you said abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we heard your answer. Now, you were talking about some staircases in the woods. Now, this is something that I've saw and done a little research on. I don't know a lot about it. Why should we never climb them? Because I would.
Yeah, I definitely have.
So that's how, like, people randomly go missing in woods, or, like, you hear these stories about, like, them just finding, like, clothes and, like, no traces of these people, these kids, like, things of that nature. Like, those staircases lead to portals that you can't come back from.
That you can't come back from. Oh.
I guess that's the reason why I never went to the top.
Yeah, like, you don't ever want to climb. Like, not only are you fucking with some, like, other power there, but then you're getting into, like, the Fae, and you don't want to fuck with the Fae.
I don't know if I would. I mean, I think I would probably climb to the top just to see if I could jump off and land in the forest.
You're gonna jump somewhere else, man.
Yeah, but I mean, hell, you have to be able to get back. I mean, you have to be able to.
How?
Yeah, just look at Family Guy.
No.
If we're gonna look at Family Guy for that, then we need to look at Family Guy and respect the fact that there were 4 fucking people in that car.
There were 6.
She's going for JFK. So if
There
you
were
guys
6.
don't know,
It was 4,
but
and I will die on that hill.
all right.
6, and you're gonna die alone.
No. That's just mean, man. You're like a dick today. What is wrong with you?
He gets
I'm not a dick today. I'm just cutthroat. She's right. I get cutthroat.
Dirty Dan the Dick Man today.
I'm stuck on that 3D printer thing from last episode.
No, so seriously, people say that if you jump through, you cannot find a way back. There has to be a way back because there was a way there.
Yeah,
not
but
necessarily.
like just like the wormholes and like the Stargate portals, like where you land is not necessarily the entrance back.
Well, yeah.
Right. So you might end up in like Ethiopia or something.
No, you're gonna end up in a whole nother fucking dimension, man.
No, I'm saying if you find a way back, like where you land from there is not necessarily going to be the staircase you jumped off of in the woods in the first place.
I have never saw staircases. I mean, I've saw pictures online. I've never saw them in the woods like that before. Where did you guys see them at? Were they local?
St. Pete's Village in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There's a bunch in like upstate New York too, like in woods up there. I've done quite a bit of wandering.
Now, I mean, have you all found any in Kentucky?
I haven't wandered enough in Kentucky to. We haven't been here that long.
Right.
So.
Well, just be careful and watch out for.
Psycho, so we haven't really had the chance.
Yeah.
To,
just watch out for bears and.
Why? I am.
Beats and Battlestar Galactica.
No, brother.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
We are eat up with bears.
I was on the Turkey Trail in the PA Grand Canyon, and I had my wrist in a cast, and I accidentally got between a mother bear and her cubs.
How'd that turn out for you?
A little pucker effect, to say the least.
Oh, I can I mean, did you freeze and stand still, or did you walk away? Did you?
I got really, really big and did some very odd sounds and slowly backed away and got myself out of that situation real quick.
Well, there you go. I don't blame you a bit.
It was only a small black bear, so in the scale of things, like definitely not the worst situation, but still a situation I wouldn't recommend nonetheless.
Well, based on your guys' research, especially you, Rebecca, where do you think where we're at, the closest portal would be to us or Stargate or some point that we could, if somebody wanted to try to get to another dimension?
You're going to have to give me a second to pull up. I can't think. I'm not directionally equipped off the top of my head. So you're going to have to give me a second to pull up a map.
Because she says north is up.
North is up. God damn it. That's what we learned.
It is.
That's not what we learned.
That's what we learned. Okay. That's how it works.
North, east, south, west.
Just because y'all look on a compass that's on the floor and says
it's not
north
on
is
the floor.
pointing up.
It's on the holds down maps. Okay. That's how that works. So there's, I'm just looking on the actual, like the Great Awakening map. So there's the jump gate as well, which is under Area 51. And that says jump gate to Mars. And then underneath Antarctica, next to the Iraq War, is the Stargates. Did I just lose you guys?
No.
Nope.
Do you think we'll ever know what's at Antarctica?
Not unless we personally go there with some heat.
Well, I mean, if you follow the old climate stuff, we're not far from finding out what's there.
Yeah, but all that climate stuff, like actual people or researchers that have been in Antarctica are saying the exact opposite. Everybody around Antarctica says one thing, and the people that have been to Antarctica are saying the opposite.
Like what? There is no climate.
Antarctica is growing, not shrinking. The fact that the solar rays are coming out of Antarctica, not coming down to Antarctica.
The other thing that I want to point out too while I'm looking for this map is the Inner Earth tunnel map entrance entrance map tunnel system.
Yes.
Also lines up with the ley lines. So, but my map is way too tiny if there's anything like in Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like I can see like there's some in the state, but it's too small for me to. I don't have a good enough one to zoom in on. I'm sorry.
Well, if any of our listeners know where a portal's at, where they think a portal's at, or a Stargate can be, please get in contact with us and let us know. Now, some people think that if you you guys may have heard this, and I may be saying it wrong, but if you touch a mirror, and if you see your finger touching the mirror from your reflection, that's not a portal. But if your finger doesn't touch the mirror on the other side of the mirror, that's supposedly a portal. Yes, what's your thoughts on that?
No, that's so false. If you touch a mirror and your finger doesn't touch, it's a real mirror. If your finger does touch its reflection, it's a two-way mirror, and that is from women from dressing rooms. You always check the mirror because it could be a two-way mirror and they could be watching you change.
So if your reflection
it's got nothing to do with portal,
okay,
it's got to do with the two-way glass.
So that's just peeping Toms.
Right. However, don't fuck with mirrors unless you know what you're doing. Don't fuck with mirrors because you will open up portals, but don't fuck with mirrors unless you know what you're doing. Mirrors are portals, but it doesn't have anything to do with the reflection of your finger touching it.
Now, have you guys ever stood in front of a mirror and said "Candyman" 5 times?
Don't fuck with mirrors, Goose.
Don't
fuck with it.
I actually have did that years ago, and I also did the Bloody Mary stuff.
Yeah, but I've done that one, and it hasn't worked.
Well, I will tell you this quick story. When I was 14, and I'd heard about the Bloody Mary one, and this was years and years and years ago. I was standing in front of the mirror. I was doing it, and I'm like, oh, and I said it, and then I started, like, you talking about the pucker effect, because I instantly seen light. And I realized a few moments later that the light that I saw was a reflection coming out from the hallway up under, the door. So
there are some, like, protection symbols and things of that nature. Like, now you're getting into, like, a whole nother category that you can seal your mirror.
Right.
So that the portal doesn't open up. And you should also never have a mirror facing your bed in your bedroom, because during the witching hour when you're sleeping and also being asleep, like, that portal will open. Like, you want to get that shit out of your room. Close your mirrors. Don't fuck with them. You don't know what you're doing.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. There's some people that if they have a closet in their bedroom, they will not go to sleep if the closet door is open.
That's her.
Hi.
You do
right
that?
Here.
Why?
So actually, I've always had this thing about closets, and I used to tell my mom this all the time. I was like, Mom, we need to close the closet. Like, even when I was younger, like, the monsters were never under my bed. They were in my closet. And I had a reading done by a medium years later. Like, I was in my very, very early 20s when I had this reading done. And she just, like, randomly out of nowhere, she was like, is there something in your closet? Because this was in the house that I grew up in that we did this. And I'm like, I've always, like, the closet has to be shut. And she was like, yeah, you have, like, a little thing, like, living in there. Like, it's not good, it's not bad, but it's just, like, collecting a whole bunch of shit. And my closet has always been a mess because it would just, like, collect, like, lost items and shit. But, yeah, there's always been something living in my closet. And to this day, Dirty Dan can attest to it. Like, I always say it like it's a joke, but it's 100% true. Like, you need to close the monsters in because we cannot have that shit at night.
She says it jokingly, but she is very, very serious about it.
Very serious about it. Well, hey, nothing wrong with that. We're going to take a short break, and during the break, we're going to play a midlife crisis song. We premiered this on the radio show a few weeks ago, didn't we, Dirty Dan?
We sure did.
And again, this is a new midlife crisis song from the album Have a Little Faith. The name of the song is Have a Little Faith. It's available September 10th on CD, USB stick, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and much more. Again, we're going to take a break and then the song, and we'll come back and close everything out in segment 3. You're listening. What are we listening to, guys?
Here to chew bubblegum.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Take a lighter look into the darker side of the world. Join Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle as they jump into the dark abyss of hauntings, serial killers, conspiracy plots, and beyond. The Spooky Family Podcast premieres July 1st, wherever you find and listen to quality podcasts.
When you want fresh, authentic Mexican food, you want El Picante in Coal Run. Dine on sizzling hot fajitas, the freshest pico de gallo, or if you're craving their secret ingredient jalapeno dip, the only place you'll find it is El Picante. Look, there are Mexican restaurants on every corner. The difference is in the mouth-watering food and the great service you'll get at El Picante in Coal Run. Visit El Picante for lunch today.
Are you a horror movie fan?
Yeah, I dig horror movies.
Are you searching for a great internet horror talk radio show to listen to?
Why, sure, that sounds quite spiffy.
Then you need to tune into deadpit.com. It's the original horror talk radio show. Dead Pit is a show by the fans and for the fans. Uncensored and unbiased opinions are the goal of the show, giving fans honest reviews on new films and vintage classics of the horror genre. Make deadpit.com your #1 horror station destination.
Day after day, fighting to live, just to live.
Goose, Dirty Dan, and Pup. Give the guys a break. They're not that bright.
And welcome back to Here to Chew Bubblegum. I am Goose, and on the other line with me is Rebecca Short of TikTok, the Short Shit Show, and Here to Chew Bubblegum. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing
good.
Doing fantastic.
Good.
We just got all of the books out here, so we're just deep diving into research.
Yeah. We had a small break. Dirty Dan's still not back yet. He said he had to use the restroom, so evidently he's laying a brick or two. But
and we might be doing the rest of the show alone.
Yeah. Talking about portals and Stargate some more than our open discussion of them. So I've already asked you, and you would go to, if you could get back or take people with you, you would definitely go through a portal, correct?
Absolutely.
I would too. What would you hope to find in a portal? As for me, first, just being in another dimension in a portal, I mean, even if it's a mirror image of our world, there's going to be differences. I think that would just be really cool. What would be one of the first things that you would do?
I think the only thing that I would do is just absorb and learn as much as I could, because there's definitely, whether it's a mirror image of our dimension and our reality, or it's something completely different, if everything has already happened and I'm supposed to go through that portal and come back, I'm supposed to learn something. And you're always learning. So I would just take in everything that I can and just go with the flow. I'm
the same way. I mean, now, would you go to the library in the other dimension? Would you? I mean, because you would be able
What if it was another dimension where libraries didn't exist and you could just touch things to get a complete full fucking download of everything, like in The Giver?
Now that would be really, really, really cool. I think that you would be able to tell if it was a positive portal or other dimension once you went through. Just by if you were able to see like buildings, and if anything looked familiar to you, I think you would automatically be more comfortable, and you may be able to absorb more just right from the get-go. And Dirty Dan sat back down in his seat. Welcome back, Dirty Dan.
Hello.
How'd everything turn out?
Oh, it was very interesting.
Good. Very good. I heard you had a funny story to share with us. I don't know if that's
yeah.
Can you tell that on the show, or?
Yeah, I've just been wondering why for the last morning, or this morning and this afternoon, partway through the morning to this afternoon, everything's just felt weird. It's because my boxes were on backwards.
Oh dear Lord!
Did you get dressed in the dark?
No.
Well, maybe there's people in other dimensions that wear their underwear backwards.
Well, possibly. It kind of reminded me of wearing a union suit, but I wasn't wearing a union suit.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you fixed that problem.
I did. I did not. It felt weird, and it was almost uncomfortable. And now I'm happily sitting again.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that's uncomfortable as well. Is when you put on a T-shirt and then, like a polo shirt or something on, and you go all day at the cookie factory and your back is really itching, and no matter how much you scratch it, it's not enough. And you go home at the end of the day and you're going to take a shower, and when you take your T-shirt off, a fabric softener sheet falls out of it that's been in there all day.
Yes. I have dealt with that in this pleasure as well.
Maybe it was a sign that you should have checked your shorts when you got stuck in the gate.
No, it was a sign of something that happened this morning.
Well, I had to ask Rebecca before you came back there. If, you're able to go through a portal, what's one of the first things that you would do? She said that she would absorb and learn as much as she could. And I asked her, would she go to a library? She said, maybe there's not a library. Maybe you could just touch something and instantly know what's going on. What would be one of the first things you would do if you went to a other dimension?
Ooh. I think the first thing I would do would be probably a gravity test.
Okay. Well, I mean, wouldn't you be able to know that? Obviously, if your feet's on the ground.
Well, no, not. But then again, Goose, come on. Supposedly the feet were on the ground on the moon as well.
Yeah. Sure they were.
I said supposedly. But I would want to test not so much like when you just think gravity of like, things falling, like the force, like what feels different and what feels the same? How do things act? Like a handshake or, a punch or a high five or just pointing and touching something, just going boop.
How would that feel in another dimension?
Yeah. Or how would it react in another dimension?
Well, what if it was a mirrored image of our world?
Well, and that would not be any more fun at all.
But there were slight differences.
Well, yeah, that's what I want to know. Is the slight difference? Are there slight differences? That's what I want to find out.
What if you went through a portal? You ended up in another dimension, and in this dimension, the technology and appearance of clothing and cars and buildings resembled us in the 1950s. What would you think about that?
Oh, I'd be looking for a 55 Bel Air and getting to work on it then. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
So you would be pretty happy there if
I'd be
that was
happier
the
than
case.
taking shit. Back when all the cars were real steel, hell yeah.
Well, you've had military people. You had DJ agree with him. We've had people answer questions on the show that don't want to be on the show. And they've said anything that you can imagine our government has.
Right.
That is a broad statement when you think about it too.
That is a very, very broad statement.
But because I can imagine a lot. And just thinking that stuff like that's possible, I don't know, man. It kind of gives me hope a little bit,
Yeah.
And it makes me happy inside.
Just on the inside, you get all tingly and warm feeling.
Yeah, exactly. No, but with everything going on, that does that makes me feel happy and gives me hope.
That would be really neat too. I would love to take a step through a portal and go back in time, if you want to say it, or to a world that is stuck in a certain time, and just experience that. Just experience what they felt and they saw and how they lived then.
Couldn't you just go to Pennsylvania and stay with the Amish?
Not that far back in time. And okay, I dealt with the Amish on a regular basis. I have an actual Amish.
Oh, don't you know then?
I'm not talking about when it's, $18.99 and we're turning butter. I'm talking about like Stranger Things.
Okay.
Like when they're sitting there with the radio and they're playing their game in their basement, like that sort of time. Because that time frame just kind of like fascinates me.
Oh, you're talking about like that?
I want to go back before the internet.
You're talking about the 80s, right?
I'm talking about like the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
And 70s.
Well, you said Stranger. Were you meaning Stranger Things, the show?
That is the 80s, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I meant like Stranger Things, like not directly in the Stranger Things. Because I know they have. It was an 88 Chevy that Hopper, my doppelganger drives.
Yeah, well, but the show is supposed to be set like pre-85, right? But I was going to say that was a great time. That was a great time to be alive. That was, so.
Rebecca, we were kind of around before the internet, at least mainstream wise.
So.
Yeah, I remember dial-up. I remember the AOL discs that you had to get in the mail. I remember.
Oh, no, I remember before dial-up.
So do I. I'm older than you.
When we went outside and played until the streetlights came on.
Well, we didn't have streetlights where I grew up, and we were out in the country. You had to make it home before you needed a flashlight to make it home.
There you go.
That's the rules.
Got to get your Strike Anywhere match and light the candle.
One of the things that I did think that we would have when I was younger was, like we've got now, FaceTime. I knew we would have that. I didn't know when, but we do have that. I really thought that we would have flying cars. I know that, there is some.
We had flying cars in the 50s that Chrysler made.
Well,
How
yeah.
are planes? Hold on a second. How the fuck are planes not flying cars?
Well, they are, but I'm talking about like the Jetsons type, family.
Or do you mean like Flubber?
Flubber.
The movie Flubber?
Yeah.
With Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Where he takes that nice old car and puts the little flubber generator underneath the hood of it, and it you can fly and
yeah.
drive.
Well, I mean, I understand why we don't have flying cars, because number one, I mean,
people like Rebecca would kill us all.
No. that is not the reason. Number one, the government will not let the patent go through to mass produce it.
But you can still get a pilot's license and fly a fucking helicopter around.
Well, yeah, and you have to have a pilot's license to fly a hot air balloon. And
those I don't trust.
Now, those have been around forever, for a long time.
I have a question then for you.
Okay.
What if they really had all of these flying technologies and all of this shit because they didn't get very excited when the Wright brothers figured out the new type of plane, right? Maybe because it had been around before. Maybe because in all of those old pictures, you can't see the sky because they've blurred that out.
I've never thought about that. That's
fuck. Wow.
You're welcome.
I think I had researched once, and like hot air balloons, they come out like in the 15 to 1600s, somewhere during that time frame. But I mean, I don't know. I'm getting a little tongue tied, but the flying car thing, I don't think we'll ever see that.
Not commercial.
And honestly, and I was telling some people at the Cookie Factory this the other day. We were talking about, the world events and this and that. And honestly, if society, not just here, but all across the world, lived like people in Star Trek did, I mean, everybody was equal. They had housing, they had clothes, they had food, and
Scotty.
But they work for mankind. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, let's all be communist. I'm just saying if you had an area where everybody was equal, where, it wasn't about money, we could be so far more advanced.
That's supposed to be here.
That's what's happening.
Well, yeah. And I can't wait for it to get here. Because think about how much better the world will be like that. If we were all equal, we were all working for the same goal. I mean, your medical technology, your aeronautics technology, everything would just be a lot better.
Yeah, it would be, because everybody would have an equal piece of it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just... if we could live like we did in Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, I think, was on to something.
That would be nice.
All right.
That would be really nice.
Let me ask you a question. When do you think that will happen? Do you think it's years and years and years away, or right around the corner?
I think that we as a society are heading to that point. I think that is a huge part in the awakening process. I think that is a huge part of connecting and finding the universal consciousness and mass meditation and manifesting and coming together and understanding that differences don't really matter at the end of the day, because we're all after the return to source goal and the great solar flash, which has been happening with the Schumann resonance and the solar spikes, and the projection is for 2030 for the official, the whole solar flash and the official birth of 5D and New Earth. We're already there. It's already happened. We're already on that track. The fact that we're having this conversation right now means that it's already happening.
I don't necessarily think that there's a specific time, date, place that it's going to happen. I think a series of events have to happen that will happen regardless, and it may not be the time everybody thinks it will, but I think it'll happen based on these series of events unfolding.
Well,
So if it's ties back into mass meditation and the collective conscious, okay? And if we go back to that research, right, and your thoughts can affect the gravity of time, how are we not already manifesting this, right? If we ignore all of the bullshit and put our energy into the things that we want to manifest and not reverse manifest things, then we're already there. We are excelling our ascension already. We are already making it to that point. And as we as a society ascend into that new realm, leading with love and light, we're also in a way going to descend, if you will, away from monetary things. We're going to ascend away from logos and brand names and materialistic items. We're going to get back to the roots of things. We're going to get back to bargain and trade. We're going to get back to homesteading and growing our own things and away from big corporations and big pharma.
Without getting into politics, you see, like right now, in this day and time, you see a lot of governments in the world collapsing.
Yeah.
Some people think it's just a matter of time before that happens here in the United States. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I agree. I don't think it's going to turn into like a dystopian future, but I agree.
Right.
I mean, isn't that already happening though?
Yeah.
We
Yes.
spoke about it on the last episode.
Yes.
Where, it's already
And,
the truth coming out. True colors are being revealed.
Do I need to play that clip again?
no.
Just like in my research that I've been finding, even still, like when you look at the origin of things, when people start taking this back to like true intent and the originality of the creation of things, like you realize that it's not all darkness and that duality is needed. And you start to recognize that everything that has been portrayed as darkness is also extremely light.
Well, and DJ had said something along those lines as well.
Yeah, he did. Be sure when we took the first, I think it was the first break during the episode 43. Be sure to listen to there's a little Ronald Reagan type thing in there with some music and stuff, and be sure when you listen to check that out. And I will forward you that video as well because I found it the other day and I pulled the audio to play on the show. And
it's 3 minutes into the 4 o'clock hour, which means episode 43 is live.
Yes, episode 43 is live. It is dropped on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, anywhere you find top quality podcast. And we will be, and we've talked about this off air, and we talked about it on air a little bit. We will be doing some live shows coming up very, very, very soon. Probably. If everything works out within the next 4 weeks, we'll be doing our first ever live show.
And that's exciting.
So, yes, it is. And the only thing I have to figure out is how to record the live show, and I think I pretty much know how to do it. So,
just goose it.
But I want to thank you guys for doing 2 shows with me today. Is there anything that you want to say about the portals, Stargates, or wormholes before we wrap things up?
I would really like to find one and be able to know whether we could come back or not, and if so, venture through.
Well, if you do, please let me know about it in advance. We will both go through it. We'll take turns tying a rope or a chain around our belt, and you go through, and I'll jerk you back, and then I go through, and you jerk me back. So,
what if chains and ropes don't exist in that reality you're venturing into?
But we can come back, so we'll have to figure that out, Rebecca.
Again, you can always contact us. You can call, text, or leave a voicemail by calling 606-373-3396, or you can email us. How can they do that, Dirty Dan?
You can email us at goose@heretotchewbubblegum.com, Dirty Dan @heretotchewbubblegum.com, or Rebecca @heretotchewbubblegum.com. You can also email Ned Pupper Elliott @heretotchewbubblegum@yahoo.com.
And tell us about the special group that we've been mentioning all month here.
So the special group is called Adventures with Purpose, AWP. You can check out these amazing people on the YouTube app or youtube.com. And they are a group of people who have taken their talents and connections to the highest degree of self-service to give back to those who need it the most. they go around and they go to any spot they can in the United States, to the point of they've quit their jobs and left their families behind for months on end to travel across the United States and hit all sorts of different spots for missing persons, lost persons, cold cases, all that. They are a group of specialized divers, and they go and help where they feel that they can, or they can offer the most, to help bring closure to a person or a family or a whole community sometimes. So like I said, go to YouTube and type in Adventures with Purpose and check them out. And if you can, just hit the like button. Every like helps. And if you want to know more about them or want to reach out to them or help in any way you can check out Sam and Jared's and the gang's website at adventureswithpurpose.com. Any bit helps. Spread the word, spread the positivity that they do bring of closure, and just give your support that way.
And I want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work and for providing us with the title track from Midlife Crisis' new album coming out September 10th. You can look for that on CD, USB stick, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. Also, I want to be sure to thank everybody over at deadpit.com, CK, Uncle Bill, and the rest of the gang. Justin Perkins of Talk Junkie. Be sure to check out Down on the Holler with Jordan and Brad. Don't forget about Seth's Daily Podcast. Also, if you're into spooky stuff, be sure to check out Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle over at the Spooky Family Podcast. Visit spookyfamilypodcast.com for more information. And if you want to awaken more, be sure to check out the lovely Rebecca Short with The Short Shit Show on TikTok and Here to Chew Bubblegum. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
Maybe I'm not leaving. Maybe I'm just coming home.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.